What is going on, guys? This is episode 1 of the final cut, where we will go ahead and break down all pro wrestling, AEW, WWE, NXT, TNA, you name it. We're going to break it down. Tonight, AEW Dynamite, episode 1 for the final cut. We're going to go over exactly what happened tonight. This is your AEW Dynamite review, April 1st, 2026. Now let's get into the actual show. And as you guys can see in the thumbnail that I put right up here, Chris Jericho is back. But for fucking what? Why? Why is he back? We had no explanation of this. Listen. Let's make one thing clear. Jericho looks great. He looks great. He looks the best that he's probably looked in a long time. And I was happy to see him. And they're in Canada, so it made sense to bring him back in Canada. However, I am going to make sure we all know on this channel we do not cut out bullshit. Why are you back? You need to give us a reason. Are you back to challenge for the AEW Championship? Are you back because you want to, I don't know, go after FTR? Are you back because why? Why? Give me a reason. Give me a fucking reason on why you have returned to the company. There was no mention of you guys thought maybe you had it all figured out. You thought you knew where I was gonna go. This nothing was said. It was a 5-minute entrance. I counted. I believe it was 5 minutes long. A 5-minute entrance of fucking nothing. Of a dead crowd, because for some reason, they were not very loud. Not very loud at all. And for a Canadian crowd to be that quiet tells you how bad the show has been. Dynamite was, they got hotter throughout the show. But the question for you guys in the comments is, are you okay with the way they brought Chris Jericho back into the company? And if not, why would you bring him back into the company on tonight? Why didn't you wait till Dynasty? I don't know. Maybe it's because he was in Canada. But to me, it was a waste of an opportunity. They probably could have waited till Dynasty and got somewhat of a decent reaction. Tony loves his returns. That's all I'm saying. So, what else happened on the show tonight? Anything? FTR was apparently not in the building, but for some reason had a dressing room assigned to them. I don't write the fucking show, guys. Make it make sense. Why would you have a dressing room if you weren't planned to be there? Somebody had to have given them that room, right? Somebody would have had to have given him a whole room to themselves. It's just these little attention to details that really piss me off. Anyways, let's talk about some good in the show, so you guys don't think I'm just complaining on this channel, because we're not gonna complain. We're gonna praise what I think's great. MJF's fantastic. Promo he cut with Kenny Omega, great stuff. That segment was great. Speedball, who I'm not the biggest fan of, still was great. I enjoyed everything they did with Speedball, Kenny, and MJF in that contract signing. I thought that was fun. We're going to go over all of it on the show, guys. I'm going to go ahead and break down. And at the end of the show, I'm going to show you guys what the final cut is. Here's the final cut. We'll do this at the end of every show. What was the match of the night? What was the promo of the night? And what is my show rating? If you guys want to see that, stick around until the end. Now, back to business. Episode 1, Chris Jericho's back in AEW, but for what? Show starts with Tony Schiavone. He's in the ring, and he's got a table, chairs set up, the whole nine, and they're ready for a contract signing. This was the contract signing for Kenny Omega and MJF for their match at Dynasty. And they've been doing this weird thing, which I feel like might be playing into the Jericho character. But they've been doing this weird thing recently, even on pay-per-views, where they leave the pyro going for a little while, even when the show starts, which a lot of people kind of like. I think it's a little weird. The show should start when it starts, but I get what. Like, if it's appealing to the somewhat of the audience, what does it hurt, right? However, this kept going and kept going and kept going, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Just kept going, 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 and going. And I'm like, what's going on here? Are we getting like, are they ribbing him? Are they ribbing Tony Schiavone? What the fuck is going on? Is TK messing with Tony Schiavone? So, this fireworks keep going off, pyro's going off, and then, boom, Judas hits. And I'm going to say a mixed reaction to Jericho coming out. It wasn't like it was all cheers. It didn't feel big enough for a Jericho return. This felt flat. In my opinion, it felt flat. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But I think it fell flat. I think it fell very flat. The crowd was more, I'd say 70-30. Like, they just didn't, I think they were expecting the show to start, and then Jericho's music hits. And, I mean, even when they were singing, they weren't singing as loud as we've heard Judas be saying. So, as you guys will find out, I give stars to these things, and you guys will see at the end of it why the stars matter, because the stars will eventually impact what I thought the show was. So, Jericho returns, he gets into the ring, and this took like 5 minutes, guys. I mean, I wish I was joking. This took like 5 minutes before he finally got into the ring. And he grabs the mic, and I'm like, here we go, baby. Here we fucking go. We're about to find out why Jericho's back. Is he back because he wants a title match? Is he back because he's starting a new faction? Is he back because of anything? Is he back because he wants leftovers and catering? Why is he on my television? We're about to find out. He grabs the mic, puts it to his mouth. And you know what this motherfucker says? Do you know what this fucking guy says? AEW. Canada. I'm home. And I'm like, all right, way to get the pop. And then he put the fucking mic down. And then he put the mic down. You guys are going to say I'm complaining. If you've been watching this and you think I'm complaining, that's okay. Because I am complaining. Because you made me wait 5 minutes for this guy to finally pick up a mic and go, I'm home. When we've seen the whole time the crowd was chanting, welcome home. So you pick up the mic and you say, I'm home. Do with that as you will. I'll see you guys next fucking week or whenever I come back to Dynamite. What are we doing? What are we fucking doing? This was terrible. This was terrible. Jericho, back, great, looks fantastic. I want to know why. Why should I give a shit, Tony? Let's get into the rest of the show. I gave this a 2 3/4 stars. So, we'll get into the rest of the show. Next, we had the actual start of the show, which is what I think should have started the show. Because now I have a sour taste in my mouth going into this. Kenny Omega and MJF. Contract signing. And MJF gets on the mic. Well, Kenny and MJF in the ring. Kenny gets on the mic. Kenny tells MJF that he needs to make sure he stays far away from the championship. And MJF responds, says that Kenny's diverticulitis is so bad that his intestines can just explode at any time. He spoke to his doctor. They had a good promo segment back and forth. Kenny basically said that he wants to make sure MJF doesn't have the title, and MJF basically said that he wants to make sure that the world knows he's a ticking time bomb in his stomach. And I think that's good information for us to know because it's a little scary, but at the same time, we need to know what Kenny's fighting through. And a lot of people who are tuning in for the first time wouldn't have known that Kenny had diverticulitis. So it was smart for MJF to say something. And then he finishes it with, but you're better off dead. And to me, I'm sold. Give me this match. Kenny Omega is fantastic, and MJF is fucking phenomenal. I would love to see this match, and it's going to happen at Dynasty, and I can't wait. I know it's happened before one time, but I'm more excited for this match than anything else so far on Dynasty. Now, they get up. Kenny flips the table into MJF's face. MJF, again, love the guy. But if I have to call out one segment's bullshit, I'm going to call out the other. MJF sits there with his hands behind his back. And he's like, come on, hit me. Hit me. And Kenny didn't do shit. But he could have. What's stopping you? We just saw Roman Reigns and CM Punk beat the shit out of each other. With knowing that there will be security guards coming to separate them. Kenny has the chance to hit Omega. Kenny has the chance to hit MJF, and Omega does nothing for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then finally, the one guy who could separate the both of these guys, Speedball Mike fucking Bailey, intervenes and grabs a microphone, cuts a pretty good promo on MJF, basically saying that without AEW, there is no MJF. If there was no Kenny Omega, there'd be no AEW. Without no AEW, there'd be no MJF. You guys get it. So, he cuts a pretty good promo. Kenny then says that he spoke to MJF's doctor. So apparently they're just allowed to call each other's doctors and get information just said to them. Doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, listen, this dude's got diverticulitis and he's got no balls. So apparently this is what was said in the doctor's office. I'm just the messenger and I don't write the show. Anyways, so this is what is said. And he says that MJF has no balls. MJF freaks out, snaps, and says, you don't think I have no balls? You don't think I got the balls to fight Speedball tonight in the main event? And then the match was set. MJF versus Speedball, Mike Bailey, in the main event of tonight's Dynamite. I loved it. Segment I thought was great. I gave the whole segment 4 stars. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it got across what needed to get across. That was really good. And it made me excited for Kenny versus MJF. And I'm also a little intrigued with MJF and Speedball. Even though I know Speedball is obviously not going to win, I would still like to see the little wrinkle in the storyline, and it gives Speedball something to do that's not stupid as shit with Mystico and whoever the fuck else is tag team, Kevin Knight. I like that they brought a real life friend of Kenny into this, and it made it feel more lifelike. It gave it some fucking story. And if you guys know me and what I stand for, story is king. Now, after the match, MJF's leaving. Basically tells Canada he's from the greatest country of all time, the United States of America. Canada boos. MJF leaves. As he's leaving, the man comes out, and Ricochet gets booed. As soon as he comes out, he gets booed. Is that booze from telling a woman she had MS? Probably too. I mean, I'm sure people weren't over that quite yet. And TK just kind of struts him onto television. Bad look, TK. He should have been suspended. I'm sorry. He should have been suspended. I don't give a fuck if you think he's playing a heel character or not. I have been in wrestling, and I have been a heel, and I still never told somebody that they had fucking MS. know your line and when to cross it. TK should be suspending him indefinitely. However, he's on fucking Dynamite being rewarded in a tag match. Kenny Omega's still in the ring. I'm like, okay. Now I'm confused because, one, Kenny just had a segment with MJF. And he's like, oh, your intestines can explode at any time. Anytime your intestines can just blow away in pieces. But let's have a fucking tag match right after the segment. This is what drives me fucking wild with this company. So now I'm like, okay, here we go. This has to be two people that make sense. Young Bucks are about to come out. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega versus The Demand. Fine. Young Bucks make sense. The Elite. No. Nope. Common sense isn't a thing in All Elite Wrestling. So what we got was fucking Brody King and Jack Perry. Love them both. But why are they with Kenny Omega? Why are they trying to have a tag match tonight? Why? Where's the fucking story, Tony? Where is the story, Tony? Okay, they have this match. Kenny beats Ricochet with one winged angel, and yeah, he pins Ricochet, which I don't think the fans really minded. I didn't mind it. So Ricochet's on television for being rewarded for what he said to the old woman, unfortunately, and now you take a pinfall. Okay, I'm happy with it. Then we get into a segment backstage. Oh, by the way, I gave that match 4 stars because it was still a good match. Very good match. Kenny's phenomenal. So is Jack Perry, and Brody King is just a beast. So obviously that match was really good, and it got 4 stars for me. Then we move on to, and you guys will see the segments between the show. I don't give everything stars because then it'd be impossible to come up with a final grade at the end. So then we have Willow Nightingale backstage holding the TBS championship, and she basically says along the lines of, we have Thursday Night Collision coming up tomorrow, and I want to defend my championship. You know what, Willow? I would like $1 million. I would like to maybe not have to go to work tomorrow. I would like... Doesn't mean I'm going to get it. Nope, but she did get it. And she has an open challenge tomorrow, Thursday night. Who's going to be watching? The 12 people that watched Collision are going to be watching. I'll be watching TNA. I'll be reviewing TNA on the channel for you guys. I'm not watching Willow Nightingale or having an open fucking challenge so somebody absolutely non-existent, non-relevant can answer that challenge. So somebody like Hikaru Shida or somebody that we haven't seen in fucking ages is gonna come out and answer that challenge. So no, I'm okay with that. I will be watching Collision, Mrs. Nightingale. Next we have they cut to Renee, who's backstage, and she's talking to the camera, and she's interrupted by Copeland and Christian Cage, and they have chairs in their hand, and they're looking to destroy FTR, and basically says, we'll do anything and we'll stop anyone if they get in our way. And Christian raises up the chair, and like he was gonna smack the shit out of Renee, and Cope's like, whoa, no, she's not in our way. And Christian kind of like back the chair down, and they just walk past. And Copeland apologized to Renee. And I thought that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that, and I'm excited for what we have to come with FTR and Cope and Christian. I'm going to give the whole combination of segments 3.5 stars. I thought that Moxley got me intrigued. Not Moxley. Moxley. Copeland got me intrigued enough to give it something. So next we have Pac versus Will Ospreay. And listen, the match was fine. Was it the greatest match on television? No. But was it a bad match? No. This match was solid. Solid. But what happened in the beginning is what frustrates the shit out of me. So Will's on his way out to the ring, and he's down in his stance like he's gonna pop up so the crowd can go crazy when he flips his Assassin's Creed hood, right? And he's down in his stance, and Pac, who's been sitting in the chair apparently since he's came out, because his music hit first, and he just stayed there, never got in the ring, and Will just walked past him. I guess he didn't know he was there, and he just got down, and he had the hood on, and he goes to pull the hood up, and he got kicked in the back of the neck, and I'm like, okay, now we're gonna start something, because there's gonna be like a little bit of extra fuel to this match because he's attacking the neck. And then Pac picks him up and hits him with a fucking brain buster on a surgically repaired neck from a double fusion neck surgery. And Tony Khan thinks the smart thing to do when you just lost this man for all those months is to just fucking give him a brain buster. How does anybody in the back, if there is a creative team in AEW, how does anybody look at the script and go, all right, okay, see what's gonna happen here, yada 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 yada. Okay, Will Ospreay is gonna take a brainbuster on the stage, yada yada, and approve it. How? How the fuck are you gonna tell me you care about your talent and then you go out and do this shit? I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing for this company. That's fucking deplorable. That man has put his fucking life on the line in AEW multiple times. He has actual double fusion neck surgery, and you decide to give him a brain buster on one of the hardest parts of the entire arena. Shame on you, Tony Khan. Now, the match itself was good. They had a nice little exchange at the end, which is where we'll pick it up at. They ended up getting to a point where Will was on his back, and Pac goes to the top, and he hits the black arrow and onto the back, and then into the I forget what it's called, but that stretch. And he has him in that stretch. And I actually thought like the near fall was very believable because I was like, are they really gonna make Ospreay lose to Pac before fighting Mox? Like they can't do that, right? And it looked like he was really going out. Like it looked like he was really, like, it looked like he was about to lose. And then the announcer for some reason goes, "Oh, he said he gives up." Why the fuck would you say that? You don't tell the crowd like, "Oh, he quits." The guy we want to beat Moxley at the pay-per-view quits, but the ref didn't see it. That was just stupid. That was fucking dumb by Tony Schiavone for all the years he's had in experience to commentary to just go, "Oh, I think he quit." You don't fucking say something that doesn't happen, Tony, because now you made this whole guy look like a fucking dweeb who doesn't look as strong because you just said he gave up to a fucking brutalizer, I think it's called. So I'm sure Tony probably not, but I would hope Tony got reprimanded in some kind of way for what he said because that was just crazy what he said on live television. Anyways, so this happens. He gets in the brutalizer, fighting. They could go back and forth. He's so close to the ropes, and then a nice little roll exchange into the center of the ring. Ended up getting Pac on his shoulders for a roll up, which looked very nice. I gave this a 3.75, and this was a very good match in my honest opinion. Next after the match, Will gets beat down by the Death Riders and gets a chair put onto his neck as he's laying face down, and Claudio's gonna go stomp on the chair, and Moxley puts his arm in the way and goes, no, and grabs the mic and tells him, "This could have been a bad night, Ospreay. This could have been a bad night for your career." do not make this personal. And he put down the mic and he left. Didn't attack him. Referees got in, medical got in, took the chair off his neck. Didn't attack him. Is Moxley a heel? Is Moxley a heel? Because a heel, like Randy Orton, would have stepped on that chair. Fuck the neck. I'm going to end this guy. So that would have been a heel move. What Jon Moxley did is show a babyface characteristic here, and he showed remorse. He showed remorse. He didn't want, in a weird way, he didn't want to hurt Will Ospreay. Now, all the Death Riders did because they are full-blown heels. That's why Claudio was going to step on the chair, and he didn't give a shit about his neck. He didn't care about the match on Dynasty. But Moxley, who, this is the little bit of storytelling I'm hoping they get into. Do I have any kind of trust in AEW to tell me a story? No. But this is one that I think would be nice. The little nuances. And because Moxley could have stepped on that chair and just ended Will's career. At least past Dynasty. There would be no match. And he didn't. He showed a babyface characteristic. So Moxley might be splitting up from the Death Riders. I don't know exactly if that's the case, but I'm interested to see where they go with this. And I thought the attack was good. And I thought that Moxley showing some remorse just adds to the story. So I'm okay with it. I gave the post attack and promo from Moxley a 3.5 stars. Next, something else I gave 3.5 stars, probably a little generous if you ask me, was the Triangle of Madness versus the Brawling Birds and Mina Shirakawa. I gave this 3.5 stars. Hater wins after pinning Julia Hart with Haterade. Let's talk. The match doesn't fucking matter because it doesn't mean anything. Let's talk about booking here real quick. Tekla, who is your world champion, is in a match where she doesn't get pinned. So now Jamie Hayter can basically say she won that match and she wants next for the championship if she wanted to. I don't think they're going to go that route, but she could. It doesn't make sense for the Brawling Birds to have won the match at all. Because you want to establish the dominance of this heel group of the Triangle of Madness. Or why do I give a shit? All you're doing is making the champions lose on TV. You're making the world champion lose on television. Unless you're planning on giving somebody in that three a match. And last I saw Mina Shirakawa, she was beating Marina Shafir and didn't have anything to do with Tekla. Then I'm thinking about both of the birds, and they don't have nothing to do with Tekla. So where is this match coming from? Very strange. Very strange. Garbage television. I did give it 3.5. I was really generous. I probably should have gave it like 3. My bad. So let's get into what happened after the match. Darby Allin comes out to the stage, calls out MJF. And I'm like, okay, MJF's not going to fucking answer this challenge. Why would he answer the challenge? So he's not going to come out. He's got a match to get ready for. He's got a main event tonight. So Don Callis comes out and says, basically, MJF pays my family a lot of money. And he paid me to come out here and tell you that if you can beat Andrade, head drew a blank. If you could beat Andrade at Dynasty, then you will get a future World Championship match after he beats Kenny Omega. There's an issue, and I'm going to tell you what it is, in my opinion. And let me know in the comments down below if you agree with this. Okay? Why would you do this at all before the pay-per-view? Because what you're telling me, and you're telling every pro wrestling fan who's watching this show, MJF is winning at Dynasty. You just took all the fucking surprise away. Kenny Omega is not walking away with the championship. Because now I have to foreshadow a match. I have to wait for a Darby Allin match. Which means what you're telling me also is Darby Allin's going to beat Andrade. Because why? Right? So Darby Allin's going to beat Andrade, who's been looking very strong since coming back to AEW and being a part of the Don Callis family. And having some of the best matches of his career in AEW. And he's going to lose to Darby Allin at Dynasty. And he's going to be next in line. And it doesn't make any sense for him to be next in line if Kenny Omega is the champion. Because he doesn't want to come after Kenny Omega. He wants the title. Now, he wanted MJF, who has the title. Now, it's very most likely if Kenny did win, he would just say, I'm still coming for the championship. And as friends, I respect you, but yada yada. But it's not going to happen that way. Then you have a babyface Darby Allin and a babyface Kenny Omega going at it. And if you know anything about Pro Wrestling 101, babyface usually doesn't happen. Heels versus heels never happens. So, what you're telling me is MJF beats Kenny, Darby beats Andrade. All because you did this one stupid segment. Wow. Smart storytelling, Mr. Tony Khan. Because you just gave away your entire fucking ending of your show. Smart. Anyways. Yeah. So they go in there and they start, they go corner Darby Allin. And for some reason, again, I don't know if they just ran out of fucking people on the show. And I know that's not true because Tony's got a ton of action figures to play with. Brody King and Jack Perry come out and save Darby Allin from the Don Callis family. Now I'm confused because you couldn't put somebody else in that spot. Then they mentioned the Collision card coming up tomorrow for Thursday Night Collision. It had some matches, and I'm going to list off a couple that honestly don't fucking mean nothing. They don't mean jack shit. Tommaso versus Juice Robinson. Who gives a shit? God, see, look, I don't even remember the matches. I know there's some 8-man tag match with like Mystico and fucking Trent Beretta, and I could care less, bro. I could give a shit less. I know there's the dogs and FTR. Like, I think it's FTR. I could care fucking less, guys. I don't watch Collision, nor am I going to watch Collision just because it's on Thursday night. Oh, sorry. Let me explain what happened because I skipped this part. Copeland and Cage came into the locker room that FTR had for some reason, but were not in the building, and saw what's his name? Trent Beretta and the other guy. I don't know his name actually. And Romy Vice or something. And he hit him in the stomach with the chair, and they said they're in their way, and okay. So apparently that was what happened in that part, and okay. I still don't know why FTR had a locker room if they weren't present. Tony Khan. Make it make sense. Story is king. You could have easily just had them walk into a door. Why does FTR's name have to be there? Because they think FTR is there? They can think FTR is there just by going into the fucking door, Tony Khan. They could think FTR is already in the building. They don't need to see a sign. Because then when you have them inside the building say, FTR is not here, it makes sense. You're like, oh, you know what? They're probably not there. But no, there's a fucking sign out there that says FTR is there. That is like, for example, WWE having a sign that says Roman Reigns, and you kick down Roman Reigns' door, and he's not in there. And throughout the entire rest of the show, he never shows up. You just foreshadow that he's there, but he never shows up. So we were expecting FTR to maybe attack Christian or something, and Cope, but they actually never showed up. They just had their name on the fucking door. This company drives me insane. Main event. MJF versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This was a good match. I gave it 4 1/4 because MJF is phenomenal. The ending is where we're gonna end up picking it up. They were at the battling on the outside. They were on the edge of the ring. They were on the outside of the ring and the apron of the ring, and they ended up getting into a scuffle. And MJF got Speedball into a pile driver, into a tombstone, and he hit a nasty tombstone, a jumping tombstone on the apron, which looked brutal, and basically told Kenny, this is your fate at Dynasty. And Kenny was ringside, by the way, watching the match, and hit a heat seeker on Speedball and pinned Speedball 1, 2, 3, just like we expected. And that was it. And MJF wins his Eliminator match. Now, because I gave praise to the match, we're going to talk about something else. I'm going to get this off my chest right the fuck now. Can we stop with the fucking Eliminator matches? Please. Please stop with these fucking Eliminator matches. They're stupid. They are absolutely stupid. You could have just had the match. We know why the match is happening. Because Speedball and MJF got into an argument over Kenny Omega. And that's why the match makes sense, Tony. You already told the story, Tony. This is what I was expecting, Tony. Now what you did is you said this is an Eliminator match. So if for some reason Speedball beats MJF, he gets a championship match. And if for some reason Kenny beats MJF at Dynasty, now you have babyface versus babyface, friend versus friends set up for some time in the future with Kenny Omega and Speedball Mike Bailey. Do you hear how fucking ridiculous that sounds? Stop me when I'm fucking telling lies. I have been truthful this whole entire show, and I will be for this entirety of this podcast. This show, the final cut, will not be a show to take for granted. I will be very, very honest and brutally honest for all companies. This show was okay. I gave it 3.7 out of 5. It's a B minus show in my opinion. It did what it needed to do. However, the just mind-boggling booking from Tony Khan, I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. So, if you guys like this show, you guys like the podcast, and you guys like the format, and you guys like the background, and you guys like anything in this channel, and you guys like my opinions, please hit the like button. It goes a long way, and it helps us in the algorithm, which we're just starting out, so I would like to be seen. So if you guys hit the like button, comment down below if you're happy Chris Jericho's back. Comment down below if you think TK's in just as big as a mark than I think. Comment down below if you think TK needs to learn how to book the show better. Comment anything. I don't care. Comment if you think I'm an asshole. Comment whatever you want. But comment something and leave a like. or a dislike, I don't care, on the video. And help out with the engagement. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for episode 1 of the Final Cut. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 2 of the Final Cut, where we review TNA Impact. And I'll see you guys there.